Hey everyone, welcome to Mixes from Africa. Joel here. A very special episode for you today. We'll be talking about mid-side EQ processing. And so let's begin from the top. What is mid-side processing? Mid-side processing is any type of processing that allows you to affect the sides separately and the mid separately. It allows you to add clarity to your mix. It allows you to do a lot of things that can be a great tool for any mixing engineer. But on this episode, we are mainly focusing on the mid-side processing of background vocals. And so, here we go. We have our basic mix here, just background vocals and a simple instrumental. Let's hear it out. So I'm not going to do much on this mix. I'm just going to showcase to you the power of mid-side processing. And so this is a basic track in stereo, as you can hear. I suggest that you get headphones or good monitors. What I'm going to do, I'm going to collapse it into mono so that I get a feel of how people listening to it in mono would hear the whole balance mix. Let's play again. And so you can tell that my background vocals have all of a sudden become quiet, and that is perfectly normal. Let me try to explain in like a minute or two why that happens. So guys, here we have a very basic mono track, a very basic vocal. At this present time, when we are playing from the center, the signal of this track is sending 50% on the left and 50% on the right. A very good equilibrium. But when I decide, for example, to send this track all the way to the left, you'll notice that now we have 100% on the left. That means the left side is now louder. It's now louder than when the track was down in the middle. What does that mean? So I've decided to add another vocalist. Alright? I've added another vocalist. When both of the signals are in the middle, that's what we have. That's the summation that we get. But let me now pan one to the left and the other to the right, like we always do, background vocals. I've sent 100% of my first track to the left, 100% of my second track to the right, and they are now louder, as you can see. All of a sudden, those tracks are louder than before. That means there's a difference in volume for a person who's listening in stereo and a person who will listen in mono. And that's the reason why we use the mid-side processing. Alright, I hope you've understood my simple explanation. Now back to our song. The background vocals are very quiet. So what we're going to do, we're going to increase the level of the background vocals to a decent level. Let's say that's where you want your background vocals to be when listening in a mono environment. The issue that we will get now is that when we will open up our mix back to stereo, you'll realize that our vocals, our background vocals, are now louder than they were previously. Check it out. And so, because we've increased the volume, although it sounds good in mono, when we put it back in stereo, it will sound louder based on the explanation that I just did for you guys back then. So how are we going to fix that? To fix that, we are first going back in mono and we make sure we have the correct level that we want. Okay, let's say that we like that level. We're going to reopen the mix back in stereo. We're going to add a mid-side EQ. I'll be using the Fab Filter EQ. What I always do is I add a high shelf way below here, and then I make sure it's only affecting my sides, because remember that the sides are the ones that are louder than the collapsed version. So I have to only affect the side here. Next up, we just play the song and then we'll reduce the sides until we have a decent level that we find comfortable. Let's reduce it by 6 dB. Let's reduce the sides by 6 dB and see what happens. That's stereo. Let's go mono. Let's open up again. There you go. As you can hear, when I'm reopening the mix back to stereo, there's not much of a big difference in dB levels of the background vocals. Let's see how it sounded again without our mid-side EQ. That's pretty loud. Let's add the mid-side EQ. There you go. That's pretty nice. And then when we collapse back into mono, we still have our levels that we chose in the beginning. And there you go. We have a pretty balanced mix in mono and in stereo thanks to mid-side processing. I hope you guys understood. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you again on the next video.